We are tWoTcast. Oh no, I can't see myself. We are tWoTcast episode 306. I can start this.
Okay. All right, everyone, shut the f*** up. Let's ready to record.
We like to start every show by yelling, "We are tWoTcast." Can you do that with me? On the count of 1, 2, 3, go. We are tWoTcast. Now we can start.
The Wheel of Time Reread Podcast. Explicit and R. Freaking rated. Jono's the wild card. Always talking shit. Joe's the straight man. He's a total dick. Tom is still obsessed with X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
We are
I never know how long you're going to let it play. You're viewing tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time reread podcast / YouTube show. With me is Joe.
Oh, hey, Tom.
Jono. And Tom, study
Hey,
your
Jono.
math. What's up, jerks?
What
Oh,
episode
you
is
know,
this?
What?
Just watched episode 6 of The Wheel of Time.
Yes. That's the math I'm interested in, Tom.
Covering Robert Jordan, Amazon Prime's Wheel of Time, Season 1.
Rafe
Episode
Judkins.
6, I guess. I assumed when I said 306, it was implied, and I realized it's really not implied at all.
It's not at all. But he also doesn't say that until after we're done talking, Jono. You know, it's right here in the script, which we've all read 306 times.
I didn't even pull up the script, just winging it from now on with it.
Hey, what up, jerks?
I know, that's why I said
Wait, we
it.
are jerks. We're
Yeah.
jerks.
That's why I said it.
What's up, brother Dan?
You know, Dan will be around a lot more in the future. We're gonna play.
We're
some
going to
SWAT RPG.
We're going to talk over the plug that we were doing for ourselves. Good idea, Tom. Yeah.
We're going to change things a little bit, I guess, just so people know up front. We're going to do a very brief spoiler-free chat and then just dive all the way into spoilers. We have a lot to say.
We have so much.
I definitely want to talk
How
about
am I
the
the
show
most
spoiler
professional
free.
intro every time?
More professional every time.
I mean, that's what you're known for. Your professionalism.
Yeah. I mean, obviously.
I definitely, upon a second viewing of this episode to get ready for this stream, hated it a lot less.
Wait,
It's a strong word.
spoiler, you didn't even say that you didn't like it the first time around.
But the point is, I think we all know like this episode had a lot of people going, "What the fuck?" But
I saw a lot of people actually say it was the best episode ever, and a lot of people saying
so
they never
that's kind of what
wanted
I'm
to watch
saying. Like
it.
I was watching it the second time, going, "Huh, okay."
Well,
So
well,
I think I have like a lot more to say in a spoiler-free section than I originally thought I did. Is kind of what I'm trying to get.
yeah. Oh, shit. I forgot my notes. We got
That being said, we can dive right in so we can move past it so
Start
we can
right
get to spoiler talk.
Yeah, just
Jono
to,
loves to stand up and put his crotch right there.
I mean, just to quickly kind of explain the format change. I think we've realized as each episode has gone by, we've discovered it's getting more and more difficult to discuss it without spoilers.
Yeah.
Because it just we're neutered and we're just sitting there.
She
just
said,
like,
"I'm
what-
glad Joe finally shaved that but she meant mustache. We know. Oh, there it is."
You know what I mean? Like we're just like, oh, that scene was okay, and we
Yeah.
can talk about it later. And like, let's go to the next scene. And like, oh, that was good, but we can talk about it later. It's not working great.
I disagree. It's working and it's not working.
Yeah, it's working okay.
We would solicit fan responses, but we don't care. We've done 300 fucking episodes, so you know.
Yeah.
Tell Joe in the comments, and he might give you a 10% chance of putting it up on the screen for us to read.
I mean,
they packed
maybe
a lot
I
of
will.
stuff.
Maybe I won't.
Yeah, like
yeah. So I guess we can get right in there if you want.
Yeah, we're
do
gonna
it.
kind of barrel through a spoiler-free, just kind of quick discussion, I guess.
All right, I'm gonna throw this up there.
Joe.
So this is our spoiler section for only the TV show, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Could you imagine watching this if you haven't seen the episode? That's weird.
I think
The point is,
dividing
theoretically, we're not going to talk about the books in this section.
Could you imagine doing a spoiler-free review of the episode, including like TV show stuff?
No, I can't.
Don't make us doubt your entire idea here.
Episode 6, The Flame of Tarvalon.
Yeah, run us through it. Why don't you?
Swan heads to the White Tower.
I
wrote this shit is heartbreaking, and her father crushes this. Swan channels hut burned down, love her to death, gives her everything. He's dead, right? Question mark.
Oh, he's got to be dead. I mean, first off,
I mean, he has no house. He has no way of making a living. He only has one hand.
Yeah.
He didn't live much longer, right? 10 years, 5 years.
Well, people have already burned down and given him the dragon mark. Like that's the name. Like, the half of the fucking upside down piece
Dragon.
of the.
Dragon Fang. Yeah,
he can't undo a knot on his own.
He's lucky.
Yes, he can. He was just having a hard time, and she helped him out.
When he gets those old knobbly fingers later on in life, he's fucked though.
Did you catch when she was doing that there were like dogs barking? Oh, wait a minute. Is that the stone of?
Yes.
Fuck. I can't even say that.
Yep. Yeah. We have really hamstrung the fuck out of ourselves.
Yeah, right.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that landmark that I can't talk about yet? Excellent.
Go back to that picture of the boat. Is there an insert for a motor?
Very possible.
No, that's where you lay the stick.
Oh, I guess a rudder. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that could be for. Although she's pulling already, if you know what I mean. A little young for that. But a penis. Although we find out later, spoiler, probably not. How am I doing?
You don't have to say spoiler. There's already spoilers for the show.
Dude had one arm, no boat, no house. He did not survive long.
Yeah, thank you, Jake.
That's what I'm
this
saying.
Is not set up.
That was actually my biggest concern. I was like, how's he going to rebuild his house?
He's gonna. Also, I mean, they have prosthetic hammers. And they just
let alone eat or make money.
But why not go with her? You sent a girl. Like, I will give you a spoiler for the map over my shoulder. You got a long fucking way to pull up there. That's not even a euphemism. She has hundreds of miles to go to get to the White Tower. You would think bringing your father was a good idea.
Also, that's against the current, right?
Yes, yes, it is.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Let's
it
keep
looked
rolling.
like it was.
Let's keep rolling.
All right, so then we have an intro. Anyway, Judgment. I wrote Moraine and Leandrin and Alana answer for Logain. Leanne's a badass. He tries to goad them. Logain tries to goad them into not killing him. It doesn't work. He begs to die. He's denied even that. The green's back up the red. Moraine backs up the green. Leandrin throws Moraine under the bus. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of your mission, Moraine? Kind of thing. And then I wrote, I cannot say, which is that scene.
That worked. That worked for me. Logain trying to get them to kill him, because just while he was doing it, I didn't understand I didn't know why that he was doing that, and I was like, man, this guy is fucking crazy.
Yeah. I thought this was a cool scene. I did not like anything to do with the CGI of the tower's height, because it makes zero sense that there's that much just wasted space.
I wondered if it was a gallery for people.
I think those are the audience galleries.
A full tower meeting, but there's no railing on those balconies.
There's no railing on those balconies. None of that. We see pictures of the motherfucking tower from far away. That doesn't look like that even fits in it appropriately. To have sunshine coming,
probably the dead center of the White Tower.
But to have sunshine coming through it, like there's no other things to the side of it. Again, look at the fucking thing. This is the stuff we should.
Those are just like power LED panels.
If that's what you're going to get caught up on, we're going to be here for a long time.
We are. Yeah. Hope you guys.
We're talking about. if we're talking about sunlight coming in through the hull of the tower and how many floors there should be,
supposed
like
to be
this
quick,
is
like a 10-minute.
All right. Well, then two things.
Recap.
Two things. A, Ace Ventura or Ice. I like the Ace and Aes Sedai now. Fucked her, the Amirlan. Every time I see her, all I think of is Home Alone or Ace Ventura 2.
I don't
All
connect
you
with
do
that.
is think of Home Alone, no matter what.
That's true. And I thought Alana's bosom.
A fish.
Yeah, Alana's bosom looked nice. Yeah, I think that was good.
Yeah, in retrospect of the scene that came later, I'm wondering if she was doing that on purpose, bowing to the Amirlan. Am I in trouble?
My biggest non-spoiler. All right, my biggest non-spoiler thing here, just for the scene, was like, how did Swan not have already heard about Nynaeve and what happened? And like, she was like blindsided by this information. It was strange.
Nothing about this makes sense, and we can get to it later on. But
yeah,
is it really that big of a deal to bring? Like, yes, obviously you want to bring the most powerful channeler in at least 1,000 years. Like, that's great news. But it's not like someone just like made you shit yourself, right? You guys live for a certain amount of time. Like, this is just a few generations of insanity. It's not that fucking. I don't know. Like, just. And to be manipulated by Leandrin's dumb squirrel cheeks makes me think less of you, like all of you.
Yeah, she just really took the stage and was allowed free reign to just say whatever the fuck she wanted in front of everybody. Was odd,
especially in a tower.
She made a face, and then Swan was like, "What do you need to say, Leandrin?" And she's like, "Well, now that I have a reason to start speaking." But yeah, that was kind of like, what the fuck? I guess, how else would you do it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wouldn't you allow people to speak freely so you could be like, "What the fuck's going on here? I'm sitting here on the Maryland seat all the time, and I need to know what's going on."
I thought it was a good scene. Logic issues, I guess I had.
Yeah.
Okay. So to keep it rolling along, the next scene. How bad?
Well, two more non-spoiler thoughts.
More. We're gonna cover all this in the spoiler part, man.
John,
they were non-spoiler, I said.
Or cover non-spoiler stuff too. We just want to quick hit this shit.
Two. Number one, why is Logain? Well, I guess that's a spoiler thought. But number two, God damn it! I forgot.
We're doing a full.
I'm already drunk. All right.
Episode in like 5 minutes. Let's just keep moving.
Anyway, next scene, hallway of Hogwarts. I know you. I know you from before. Leandrin says, "Whatever you're up to, do it quickly. Did you expect me to be thankful?" This is all comments from Leandrin in terms going towards Moraine.
Here's a non-spoiler thought. Is the actress playing Alana trying to be Brad Pitt? Why is she eating in every fucking scene?
I noticed that too. I was like, are you Ocean's 11ing me?
She got tired of being on cliffs. Like, that was her thing.
Next scene. How bad is Moraine at pouring tea?
Very slow. Also, he's not steeped.
She brings it to the height of her head.
Oh, unless it was infused.
Flashing everywhere.
I guess it was an infuser for the tea.
I thought that was hilarious.
This is a good comment right here from Jake. I didn't get why Swan would press Moraine, and when it's revealed they were in cahoots later. But I mean,
I think it's made clear later that Swan's like, "Why did you do that?" And
no, Jake is right. Jake is right, because why did you do that doesn't make sense, because she did it to herself. Like, it should be, why did I do that? Like, why did I walk?
Again, we're getting bogged down in details. We're going to very in-depth cover the whole episode. The second we just do a quick run through non-spoiler.
Tom, every time you stop us to tell us how to do it, then it slows us down even more.
Then stop talking about extraneous shit.
T for one, Moraine watches Rand to Matt. How bad is he? Worse than expected. Matt thinks he can channel. Rand draws the sword on land. Hilarious. He hasn't channeled. Rand screams that. Moraine heals Matt. Pretty badass looking, even though I have thoughts for later. Let's wrap this up in a blankie. I wrote, that's the knife.
My favorite part of
Rand's like, what the fuck? that's kind of what I got for that scene. Oh shit! Look at that vomit.
My favorite part of that scene by a mile is when Lana, Moraine, and the innkeeper get to the top floor, and it's just tight on them. And she's like, "This is the room." And then the camera turns, and you see quite clearly there's literally one door. She acts like she's some like all-knowing entity, and just like,
I can feel it here.
This is it. Yeah, that's the room I was taking you to. It's my inn.
I know. It's like I brought you here. What are you talking about? All right.
Anyway, So she heals Matt. Pretty fucking awesome. It's really horrifying. And again, I have thoughts on this scene, but they can sort of come later, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, what's the point? Like, no, we should talk about the non-spoiler. Otherwise, what's the point of just
non-spoilery
recapping the
thoughts.
story?
I thought it would look fucking cool as
Yeah.
shit, and it was amazing.
Yeah,
Let's jump.
I
to the
really
bath.
hope. I hope Fane. Well,
Let's jump to the bath.
everything's just one.
There's a real quick. So I got Rand thanks Moraine.
All right, let's talk about his pants. That's not a spoiler.
Are they assless chaps?
What's happening?
Yeah.
They're dickless chaps.
Like, well, yeah, but like, it's a lot going on with these pants.
It's not those aren't pants. They're very wide belts.
It looks like they're suspenders, but pulled down, but they're not.
Oh, it's like when you're wearing
They look like there's.
Just
I bet we're showing some sort of ignorance of what kind of like work pants or what work coverall this is of some sort, but like I don't know what it is.
So by the way, I looked it up. This is why Barney left. Barney left because he didn't get the same pants.
He's like, "What's with these fucking dickless chaps?"
Trav says, "I think I'm watching on Twitter and YouTube."
Watch it everywhere. Get multiple screens in your house. All right. Quick conversation with the blue.
Yeah,
that
quick.
wants to stay in
So
the
then we get
tower.
then we get bath time, and it's really just quick like I wrote bath
there's a
time
few
Oriental
tips.
setting.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Moraine gets her new orders from Mygan. Ships are disappearing. Aiel are here, and the Aes Sedai sank the Terran ferry. I think I liked all of those moments. And then
we'll dive into that in a little bit.
But this is one quick thing that I
the only thing I would say here is that I think it's hilarious
Yeah.
that Moraine like picks up her towel and drops like a secret message, and you're like, really?
It made the Zelda noise too when
Yeah, it was like, and they're like, what? Did you more secrets, Moraine?
Always more and more secrets every time.
So then she goes to see the other group of kids.
There we go.
Why not let them know where each other are? Is she afraid they're going to run away together?
I don't.
Yeah, I think this is her trying to contain them.
So this is bad.
She even emphasizes like he needs to heal, you need to heal. Well, I don't know, but I guess she was traumatized. But I mean, that was a scary thing.
Does Egwene think she killed Valda? She's like, he'll never bother you again. I'm like, you kind of
stabbed him in the shoulder. Yeah,
I don't know. That was a long knife, and it went down like through the shoulder. That's
and
a
what's
good way to get
behind
into the chest cavity.
Well, there's it's gotta be
that filled with blood. It's not like
Yeah.
he's getting healed by an Aes Sedai, guys. You know.
And she immediately is like, by the way, Perrin's eyes turned yellow. I don't know about you. I think you're gonna be born. Like, shit.
Is it the dragon?
Is
it the dragon? Is my least favorite thought ever. Like I hate this so much, and I can't wait to discuss it later.
Well, they all know that one of them is the dragon, so they're all worried about it. It's the first thing in their brains. Like, does that mean something? Like, I get that completely.
I took a weird shit, and I'm not sure where my minties are. Am I the dragon? Like, what's happening here?
All right.
I'm out of character.
Tarv Allen looks great at dusk.
It does.
At night, you put the lights down a little bit.
It gets romantic.
Also, I love how Dragon Mount's glowing in the background. I don't know if it was in that specific shot, but it was like the last episode. It showed it at night. Tarvalon at night, Dragon Mount's actually glowing with fucking lava at the top. I love that.
Yeah.
I wrote, Moraine masks the bond. It's not as safe as it once was here. That's from Lan. Our priorities are everywhere. Protect the Two Rivers people. Get back before dawn. I'll stand watch. Give her my love. And I just wrote like so he knows what's going on. Obviously,
I like
he knows exactly what
she's secret lovers with the Marilyn. Right after we see her in a shirt that looks like she had sex with like a guy, like 10 minutes previous. Like she's wearing the guy's shirt.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I just thought the outfit choice was strange.
Jake is quoting me. I guess she was traumatized. I suppose she was traumatized, Jake. I'm just saying.
That's worthy.
Perrin got his back sliced open multiple times.
I mean, he's not wrong. He was you gotcha.
No, he's right. He's right.
Yeah,
This is
so
a lengthy scene. I don't want to dig into it too much. Unlike,
fuck knows I do. All I've done is yell about this, but we'll do it later.
yeah,
Uh,
there's a lot here.
Well,
to get.
after masking the bond, I wrote Moraine goes to Narnia, channels the painting open, Fisherman's Hut, Swan awaits. Swan doesn't like being called daddy, neither do I. Gross. And then I wrote on your knees.
Her Fisherman's Hut is the perfect name for her pussy, considering where she's from.
Wasn't ready for it.
Damn.
Although I guess Fisherwoman's Hut in this case, but still, fuck yeah.
Yeah. All right. So jumping past this scene because we're gonna.
She unpacked a lot. We'll do that later too.
Yeah. So
Well,
Leandrin,
I mean, in general, actually, I mean, thoughts on this scene that are spoiler free. I really like the way they set this up. It was like you were genuinely worried that Moraine was in a shitload of trouble. So when you see this scene, you're like, oh fuck, they're together. Oh, they're working out together, and like, oh, she knows everything. Oh, okay, you know, like it does have that like relief flooding moment of like, oh shit, okay, I don't have to be
so I
freaked the fuck out.
First off, she looks like the ghost of like lesbian past entering. Like it's fucking weird. But like I fucking love the scene. Like I think it's actually really,
cool.
It's heartfelt, it's fun, and like you see like a very good relationship dynamic there. And we also get some interesting reveals on things that are both useful for this commentary and part two.
There's a lot. Yeah. I don't want to dig into this too much because there's so much spoiler stuff in there that I have things to say about.
Farshredder dislikes the shirt so much.
I mean, it's a weird night.
You said she looks like the ghost of lesbians past, and it really does look like Ebenezer Scrooge's nightshirt. Like,
I'm
surprised she didn't go through that portal and just be like, "You there, boy? What day is it?"
Well, I wrote post-sex scene. I found the dragon. I found 5 potential dragons. Nynaeve's too old, but how can we discount her power?
So I found 4.
They discussed they discussed the over-translated prophecies, so not necessarily, Jono.
I like that.
So
I like that
5.
trace there. I think that's an interesting kind of dynamic for the show.
And then Suan's dreamed of the Dark One at the Eye. Take them all there. And then she's like, well, that would mean death to the rest of them. And then she's like, by the way, you have to exile me tomorrow. Like, just as a quick aside.
Yeah.
I need you to exile me tomorrow.
Yeah. Now that you ate my snatch, I got some interesting news. I'm not going to be here.
My Aes Sedai RA wants me to stay in the dorms.
Thanks, Megan.
Can you expel me from school?
It's an interesting. Like, obviously, she's doing it because she wants to continue her work there. But as far as lovers go, it's a very unfortunate thing. But by the way, been great seeing you this first time in 2 years. But please exile me. Really seems like you're trying to break up with me. It's not me. It's you. Oh, it's not you. It's definitely me. Exile me. It's George Costanza would be very impressed by this way of getting rid of someone.
Nice.
Thank you, Bailey. Oh,
not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. So we get Leandrin in the hallways again. Is she just like hanging out in the halls nonstop, waiting to spring on them? Like, what's happening right now?
I have a theory. There are 6 different Leandrin.
I wrote Leandrin again. Loyal's waiting. Matt Cawthon ? They talk about Matt and his relationship to Nynaeve and the rest of them. I know about the man you meet in North Harbor. We both know what they'll do to him if they find him, meaning the Red Aja. Yeah. That was kind of the whole.
We're supposed to assume that's some weird secret lover, but I'm also assuming definitely not.
Evil?
Yes. Then we get meeting with Loyal. She basically says, I need your help, and you have a specific solution to this crisis. And he's like, he doesn't really say glad to help or anything.
He doesn't say yes or no.
The meeting
says, hey.
He doesn't. I mean, it's implied later, but
yeah. This is a very confusing ending to this, like just all of it, right? I like this quick scene with Loyal and like meeting an Aes Sedai, and I don't think it's weird to say that Aes Sedai obviously know the formalities and the customs of the Ogier, so she understands that what she's doing is kind of not in keeping with tradition, and therefore how important it is the fact that she's rushing it shows the importance of it, and I think Loyal gets that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move next to the Rothrod scene.
No, we're not there yet. There's a lot of little quick scenes here, Jono. First, we get Egwene sees the Amirlan seat.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Nynaeve and Egwene get reunited. It's Egwene. Egwene just says something out loud, and I think it's specifically just for people that haven't read the books. But isn't it odd that the seat and the person are named the same thing?
I assumed that was going to be a joke about Moraine sitting on the Amirlan seat.
It's just a sex joke.
Yeah, the whole thing.
It is now, I guess.
Oh, God damn it. All right. Then we get the audience. We got the... sorry, Tom, go ahead.
When they meet her and she's like all ready to be like, yes, I am the most powerful Aes Sedai in a million years, and just like is quickly embarrassed because it's not her.
I love it. It was a very fun because Egwene's you're thinking that I
actually grabbed a screen grab of that because I didn't catch that the first. I mean, I guess I sort of saw it the first time, but I think my mind was so reeling at this point that I was like, I didn't notice that. But she's like, wait, what? Nynaeve can channel?
Wait,
I thought that was
you're
pretty
alive
good.
and you're better than me.
Over too.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Right there, she might be thinking, I wish that Trolloc did kill you.
Well, I'll tell you what. I bet there's a reason here. I bet Egwene's a book reader, and so is very confused by the nomenclature with which they described how strong Nynaeve was versus others, because they get that wrong here. Spoiler.
All right, moving past that.
Hey, what's that in the background?
Oh yeah, it's the same thing that's in Moraine's room.
A dildo.
No.
Yeah, again, non-spoilers aside. I mean, not aside.
Wait.
Full non-spoilers. Sorry.
You're making everybody turn
Fully
it off.
aware that this is not a book
this.
spoiler is what I'm trying to say. I want to go into more detail about that real quick, and it has nothing to do with the books. But the fact that those things are obviously the same, and Moraine's room is very sparsely decorated.
They're like money and corn.
Doesn't it call more attention to the thing that connects the two of them if it's just like, I have this one object versus like, there's 20 things on this wall?
I don't think anybody would walk into somebody else's room and be like, wait a minute, there's one of those in another room too. What the fuck are you fucking?
I don't. Not are you fucking, but do you know each other, or like why?
I'm
why
with Bailey
are
Zine
you sharing this
I'm with
thing?
Bailey Zine. Like that honestly does, like when you see two massively similar objects. Now, granted, there is the value, I guess, underneath. Thank you, Brando, and I'll be licking and sucking soon enough. That's the spoiler part of the show. Like there is definitely, well, clean yourself up, and it won't be. There's definitely
Leandrin has a Marauder's map. This is obviously from before.
that makes more sense.
That's the best fucking thing. The show's over. That's what this week.
We're out. Everything's a rip off of Harry Potter. We all knew it.
Make a better joke than that.
I've been joking about the halls of Hogwarts the whole time, but I mean that was brilliant.
Is that where they go? Is the requirement?
Joke.
Is the Fisher Hut the room of requirement?
Fisherman's Hut is a room of requirements.
One of us has to be relegated, and Beach has to be elevated to the podcast.
Yeah. All right, I'm out. Beach,
you do all the
jump
work.
into the stream. Oh shit! I'm sorry. All right, Jono's out. What was I thinking?
As long as
I take all the notes.
One of us. Let's jump to Moraine's exile.
Okay, so we get a real quick.
She
like,
looks
it's
like
time.
me. Moraine there looks like me having read the book, thinking about this scene.
I disagree. Hey, Jono, come on, man.
For fuck's sake.
I disagree. Like this is Moraine like taking in Tarvalon for the last time. This is Moraine like realizing what she's going to lose. Like she's about to go into the hall and be exiled, and she knows that. It's not like the punishment is a surprise, unbeknownst to everyone else.
Show that balcony, Joe.
Yeah, fucking railings.
Unbelievable. How does your warder
Build
let you
some
walk that close
railings.
to that balcony? God damn
I mean, anyone could just run up behind you and push you.
it. Anyone. A small child could knock you over.
Apparently, Leandrin has the ability to jump out of from behind any column at any moment.
Yeah, if anything, I'd be worried about that. Also, how does she hide in the shadows? Her dress is so red.
It's a huge suicide right there. It's like
I mean,
it's like hot fuzz.
There's a lot. There's a lot of big columns, Tom. That being said, the intimate time that we've spent within Tarvalon, the city, and like the White Tower itself, fucking everything looks so awesome. That fucking
does look
room she was
awesome.
drinking tea in, Jesus Christ! They decorated like there was patterns of tile on the floor and shit. Like they spent some time making this city look fucking awesome.
Everything
And
looks
I
fantastic.
do appreciate that because I think we're gonna get a lot of episodes where it's just like dirt roads and like nothing going on. So it was really cool that they put so much time into all this stuff.
All right, so
But yeah,
actual
hall.
exile. Moraine
your
takes
exile.
it very seriously, considering it was her suggestion.
What if she's a great actress?
That's what I was wondering. I'm like, yeah, she's acting.
Oh, maybe she's like. In fairness, if I were being exiled and I was not going to be getting my lava's vagina for a while, I'd look that serious. I'd be pretty pissed off.
I'm wondering, is that thing that's in the wall? Like, can you not just like get a chisel and a hammer and take that with you in a bag?
I mean, yeah, can't you just like hang that on a tent wall and it will act the same way?
Just nail it up on a tree in the middle of the forest. I'm horny.
Well, I guess we don't know because we don't know specifically what that is.
Spoiler.
The hall, you're exiled from this tower. You will swear to the Amarylline seat. She swears only to Suwan specifically. They turn their backs and she leaves.
Here's my question: when she
Yeah.
leaves the hall and everybody outside also turns their backs, how do they know what happened?
How dare you?
Can they hear?
News travels fast, Tom.
I mean, can you hear what's going on inside, outside?
No, Tom. There's a painting inside, and they're watching everything, and then they're talking to another painting on the outside
one
in
of
the
the-
hallways.
That makes
No, a
sense.
Harry Potter
Like in
painting. They're just
Scooby-Doo?
traveling between, the subjects of the paintings can just walk in between all the other paintings, So there's just one painting on the inside being like, oh, that's what's happening. And then they run to another painting. They're like, guess
Oh,
what's happening in
no.
there?
That's
If
terrible.
you were Moraine and everyone literally turned your back to you and it was a circular room, so there's no chance of, a tangential line, would you not just flash her your vagina? Just hike a skirt up and while you're walking away? I would definitely I flash my wife at any and all times, just whenever it's just as my own personal joke.
You think
I
she would
would-
just be like, last chance?
Yeah. Not the first time they shared that. Keith Langford is very, very correct.
Oh man, that's the one I was hoping you wouldn't highlight. That was fantastic.
This one?
Yeah.
No, the comment.
Um,
Hilarious.
So, Moraine leaves.
What do you think about the tower
She goes to the
guard?
Waygate.
Tower guards.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this is our first shot of it. I guess they've probably been in the background of multiple scenes, but this is our first look at
Not
I
intimidating.
mean, I don't know, clear look. I
mean,
guess,
they brought
at
in
the tower
Logain,
guard.
and I was like, are they interns?
I thought they were accepted or novices or something. They have a 3-inch. Oh, I guess it's a halberd. I can see it now a little bit more. That's
Yeah.
still not overly intimidating. They're not wearing armor.
Did you think there was just 2 inches of blade above that red?
Yeah, I did. I was really disturbed by that pike.
Oh wait, I guess that's a menacing head-sized weapon. Never mind.
Yeah. But even still, it's not really that great. They're not that intimidating.
I mean, those are just it's not like it's wartime. It's not like there's burning towns on the other side of the bridges.
It's not like
you know what
there's
I mean?
white cloaks 3 to 7 miles away.
It's not like
Capturing
there's
people.
Yeah.
one single white cloak on the other side of the river that's killed 8 of your.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Yes.
dead, Tom. We all know that.
No.
Queen said so.
Yeah, he took a nick to the shoulder. He should be fine.
All right, let's get to
It won't
the Waygate.
This is this is a lot, but I'll go. I mean, I've got a lot of random notes here, but I'll go rapid fire, like we've been doing.
Rabbit
So Moraine
fire.
leaves. She goes to the Waygate. She got there first. I wrote question mark. What the fuck, Lan? You had one job.
I know. Right? How did that happen?
Loyal shows up with Egwene and Perrin and Matt. Oh, and Perrin. Matt, Rand, and Lan arrive. I wrote brief respite, as in they have 5 seconds to be like, oh hey guys.
Oh, you say respect?
Then they go into the ways. time for every story when we travel. They send off the horses. Matt's like, what the fuck? I was going to ride that. Loyal.
Matt's like, I'm a horse trader. We're gonna get rid of these.
That's why he stays.
That one time I was
Loyal's
like, that girl made fun of me. I could finally redeem myself.
Tell me about the ways. Oh, I just love that Loyal started like it's a perfect Loyal. He's crushing it as Loyal. I love the facial prosthetics aside.
Yeah,
the actor,
hiding every facial expression. He is doing a great job. He just starts going, well, the ways of this ancient blah blah, and then Moraine's like, it's the fastest way. Okay, it's the fastest. Like she just cuts him off. It's really funny. Anyway, we turn back. Everything will fall to darkness. What about us? That isn't the dragon. So they're concerned if I'm not the dragon, what's going to happen to us? And she's like, we're uncertain about that.
They're just so.
You survive.
Like, am I the dragon? Is he the dragon? Do you think one of us is the dragon? I don't know. Like, it has no weight whatsoever.
It took 10 seconds for her to respond to like, what happens if we're not the dragon? Like, what about the others? She goes,
I mean, I can't say definitively.
yeah. I mean, you're probably going to die, though.
That's when Queen does a follow-up question and then just says, do you have a guess? Like,
can you guess?
You clearly dodged that question.
If someone's coming?
Just 10 more follow-ups.
So I wrote, opens the ways, Matt stays behind. So
it looks cool as shit, the ways. Like, it looks I like how dark it is, I guess. I think that the actual.
Actually, I mean, again, in the spoiler section, I have thoughts on that. But
I like.
It does look cool. It does.
It's a cool looking thing
awesome.
here. Yeah,
I will say. All right, so they open the gate. Moraine and Lan walk in first, and then everyone's kind of following. And Matt's a little hesitant, and
he's not hesitant. He's 40 yards behind him.
But who cares?
He's hesitant at first. They're all around each other.
Look, maybe he's waiting. They never say anything about. You need to hurry up or the gate's going to close or something like this. And then all of a sudden the gate's closing. They're like, Matt, come on. And he's like, are you fucking crazy? I'm not jumping through it now.
I don't blame the man at all.
That's the excuse I'm giving. Because I was just thinking about it, but I was going to come. But then it was like halfway through and I don't want to get like cut in half like an elevator dropping like in the,
Was it a little weird that Loyal showed up with a Gwyn and Perrin instead of the opposite crew?
Yes. Yes, it was a little weird. Thank you.
He showed up alone.
No, he showed up and she said, "Are you alone?" And he said, "No." And then a Gwyn and Perrin rode up behind him.
Maybe they met on the road. I mean, he showed up first before they rode in.
That's not true. I was also shocked at how close that gigantic Ogier on a I assume normal sized horse, but it looked small on him. Got close to Moraine before she was like, "Oh shit, you're here."
Yeah.
I mean, and there's like multiple shots of like Moraine all alone across that entire like hilltop.
Who's really cutting the grass on this hilltop? I've got so many thoughts. Like, why is this just a perfect clearing?
Got a sheep?
Yeah, just letting 30
sheep.
goats go.
Sheep,
yeah.
I
Sorry.
mean, it could be a farm nearby.
I mean, they're clearly very close to Dragonmount because it's visible. So they're
maybe it's a lava lawnmower. Maybe I don't know. You can see what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like the idea of someone just pushing lava out of a lawnmower, though. It's gotta keep it low.
Before we get into spoiler territory, Jono, what were you gonna say?
What is this? Like, there are some questions now. Is this where Barney is no longer there? Like, is this the last Matt Cawthon scene?
Well, is this even a spoiler? I guess
I have thoughts on this, but I think
following the news. The guy that plays Matt is not going to be on the show anymore after this. He's replaced in season 2.
Yeah.
So everyone's.
I think spoiler free wise, it's a logical place for him not to show up for the rest. There's only 2 more episodes. I seriously doubt he'll be in the rest of the season.
I hope. I
That's what I would say. Assume.
I hope that this is just like feeder for a theory, and that he actually is. Because honestly, I love the actor. I think he's fantastic. He doesn't quite play it like quite with the panache and silliness and lightness that comes later. It was Almond Buns Apple Orchard. Thank you, Brando. That is.
But they didn't have enough in the budget, which is the point.
Yeah, they spent all their budget on
Just sneaking up
Fish
on
Hut.
this high ground. It's Evo Grass. It cuts itself. Jesus.
Oh, Drez.
You're crushing it in the comments. Sorry,
It's-
John. Go ahead.
No, it's
I mean,
fine.
we've been doing this for a long time. We can retire soon. We need to handpick 3 people from the comments to just take over the whole fucking thing.
They'll be named Silly Bane, Billy Zine, and we've already got names for them. We only have to use their own. And mine is apparently just spoilers. I can't remember what mine is. Oh, there it is. But I love this Mad actor, this Mactor, and I hope he kind of just like, I don't know. I would love to have more of it. Like, he's fucking perfect, I think. So I hope that he's in the next 2 episodes.
Well, we'll see what happens. I don't think he's going to be in the next 2 episodes. Maybe, but
What if the next episode just opens with them opening the doorway up and go, "Come on,
but
Why do you close the door on me?
even that, I'm ready to get
come on,
into
man!
a little more. Yeah, just like it is like
The
3
door's closing.
Open it all
Open
the
it
way,
back up.
closes again, all
Come
the
on
way,
in.
closes again. It's like, we're not playing this fucking game like it's a dog, and you're just like, in or out.
God damn it! Just use the bathroom and then come in."
But I don't want to even dive too much further into that until we get to spoiler part, because like,
I kind of agree.
as well.
All right. Well, should we
Well,
get
you
to
know
the
what we do
spoilers?
before we do between spoilers for the TV show only and spoilers for the books and the show is ratings. Billy Zane ratings. What do you guys? John, do you want me to move that or back?
No, I want you to put it there because watch this. This is how I'm going to rate the show.
Oh,
Take it too long.
5.
A 5, eh? Okay, all right, interesting.
I'm not very
Interesting.
thrilled by this, and it's getting. This is an alarming trend for me, and I've been very upset literally since Friday when I watched it. Friday, Saturday, whatever. Because I
Now be
didn't
careful.
love-
If you're rating reasoning reveals spoilers, I need to
It
say
does.
something.
Oh, my rating reasoning reveals a lot of spoilers. I don't love it.
Okay. Thomas, ratings.
I can't divorce myself from show watcher and book reader for this episode. I'm incapable of doing it. I'm just
Yeah, we barely held that together for all
I'm
our,
at 4
viewers.
Billy Zanes for this one.
Woo.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Nope,
read
nope.
these-
Put
guys-
Billy Zane's up. Put Billy Zane's up.
I need them to.
All right, 4.
I really need them to stick the landing on the last couple.
Tom's at 4 Billy Zanes. You know this only works for 3 through 8.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
10
when
Billy
we're back-
Zanes, Jono. Go for it.
back to non-content?
Stretch your neck.
He moves faster than the speed of the camera.
I mean, I said this to you guys earlier. Upon the second watch, like the first time I watched this episode, I was like, "What the fuck?" And then I watched the second time around, and I went, "Oh, okay, all right, I see where they're going with all of these things, and I understand a lot of it." But I mean, like, but it's still kind of like jarring from a book reader's perspective.
Yeah,
But I can't go lower than the Step-In funeral episode, and I said 7 for that, so I'm going 7.5.
oh Jesus Christ!
I just can't. I realized in retrospect that the Step-In funeral episode might be my least favorite episode.
Yeah,
so far.
And
What
since
about
I gave it a 7, I'm not going lower. I can't do it.
I think
So
the issue
I'm
is
rating this one kind of high.
when we
I
get
would
to
have said
the
6,
part, we're just
probably,
gonna go
or 7.
on a fucking rampage about changes that drove us insane.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily even pointed at the quality of the show necessarily or the episode. It's just like just watching it, I'm just like. And it
Well,
hurts.
I think that's the thing is like honestly, like when you put it together as a show, it's again very gripping stuff going on so far. It's a little bit kind of misbalanced almost between.
Hey, by the way, Jono, real quick. By the way, in chat, feel free to throw your number in there.
Throw us your BGs, as Adam said. Yeah,
Throw your BZs.
yeah.
Or Bailey Zanes.
Yeah, don't just put a number.
Or Silly Zanes.
Say 8 Billy Zanes, Keith, not just 8.
I
A second watch did help me, and I
It
think
did.
I might I might even like it even more a third time around. I just like I had a
Yeah,
hard
I
time.
think, and Jake's echoing that. Yeah, I think that there's. It's a beautiful show, right? It's 6.69 always works for me. I think it's a beautiful show. There are some things like it's weirdly balanced, right? We've literally had 2 episodes, or at least an episode and a half in Tarvalon, in the tower, and without getting into if that is important or not, as far as it's a show where clearly we're trying to move around a lot. We have goals, we have this, there's wars, it's spending that much time there seems. If this were a 12 episode season, I would love to spend more in every fucking place. It just seems like we're spending a lot of time on a lot of things that.
Are we? I don't want to go too far into why there should be more. We might be hitting spoiler territory again.
All right. Well, let's put on some taffy. Let's go get another drink.
Yeah, we're gonna do the spoiler one just to be cathartic for everyone and just fucking get it off our chest and go into 7 clear.
Yeah. Clear your calendar. We're about to scream for the next 2 hours.
I don't have 2 hours.
Well, I do.
I have 3 taffy songs. I have Wheel of Time, Hotel Convention Dance Party, and Butterflies Taste Like Butter and Flies. What do you want to hear, John? Chat, what do you want to hear?
Hotel Convention has my wife, and I don't want to see that.
All right, our interlude will be
Butterflies
Taste Like Honey and Flies. Oh, hey. I don't know what was going on with that.
Yes,
We had
personification.
technical difficulties.
Okay. Well, as we're waiting for Silly Bang.
So many thoughts.
So,
Hey, we're now entering book spoilers for the show and the books. And man,
this is again, and I sound like the biggest broken record. That's not right. But
yes, Brando, that was Alan.
again, I love that this show exists. Yada yada yada. Whatever the fuck else you want to hear me say, because it's all true. It literally is. I fucking love that this show exists.
Mm-hmm.
Until now, no I'm kidding. But this was tough. There was some shit in here that just seemed like this is where adaptation becomes your own fanfic almost, and that's nothing to do with the actual sex scene. That's fine with me. I think that actually is a great piece of canon for it.
Well, I mean, we can get into the details of everything in a second.
Yeah, well, I was kind of waiting for Silly Bazane, but fuck him. Let's start at the beginning, I guess. Like legitimately, I thought that first scene was cool as fuck. I think that's a cool idea for where Swan comes from. It's not quite.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Not quite from the Muad or whatever it is. Is it MUAD?
Yeah.
But the mud hole, if you will, later.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know what they're into. But everything about the actual scenery is wrong, but it's forgivable. Except that the Stone of Tyr, which is supposed to be part of one of the biggest cities in the world, is that close and everything looks pristine, right? Like the whole thing is like the huge cities like that are quasi-industrial. And there's like, it's if there have been thousands of people living there or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands for that many generations, it doesn't fucking look like that.
Fuck, we're on geography.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here for a while.
It's gonna be a long fucking night.
I can't do that.
Do you remember our the other person we do this podcast with, Jono? Right?
Yeah.
You remember him? Yeah. We're gonna talk about the map.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Swan scene. I really liked it. I mean, I actually really liked. If you notice, his tattoos were like even sloppier. Like they weren't as like almost tattoos. Like he provided her like a slightly better life than he had. Just like on the, and it wasn't just like they're crisp and she had just had them done. Like they were like done better. Like it was. I was like, man, that's a subtle fucking detail and kind of fucking cool. But I mean, yeah, Swan, getting to see that was pretty cool.
I liked the opening.
Makes all the countless fish references that we get in the books better to see for 2 seconds where she came from. Like it actually makes it better.
Yeah.
I like the opening scene, but it's been building for episode 4, then episode 5, and I enjoyed them, but then 6 starts off and it's like, man, the actual main characters of this book have just been completely sidelined, and the episode 6 opens again on Swan's backstory, and I'm like, what about Egwene and Rand and
Perrin and
Matt? Like, what's the fuck is going on? Like,
that's
or even Nynaeve. Like Nynaeve got one of them in like 3. Was episode 3?
I forget we're even dealing with them sometimes, and they're on the run, and they're the whole point of why we're watching this in the first fucking place.
Well, remember, there's 5.
Hella Sunmaid said we kind of knew going into this that Moraine was going to be the focus, and I agree with that. And that is a way. So again, all right. This gets into the whole episode, but I mean, I will say like the
and again, we're just bitching.
The mystery. Well, we're gonna be a little bit, but
a little.
There's gonna be like the idea that they're trying to keep the Dragon Reborn a mystery is important.
It's such a mystery that I keep forgetting it's even a thing.
Is important. That's true. The clues are so subtle. I would actually say like, based on this episode, I'm actually worried that they're going in a different direction. I wasn't worried they were going in a different direction this entire time. I thought they were downplaying Rand enough, but not sidelining him.
I don't think that's...
They're not. No, but back to the point, though. I mean, go on, Joe.
I don't think they are either, but this is the first show that made me worry about it, because like Swan said more than once, like, well, why would his soul be split into 5? That would be weird. What? 5 dragons or 1? I don't care. And I was like, stop this. Stop that right now. Stop putting that scene out there.
I feel like they've slowly ruled out Nynaeve and then Perrin and now Matt
and then
like,
and then brought Nynaeve back in.
but they're not.
No, they didn't.
I mean,
No,
they're,
they didn't.
they're not focusing on it, but it seems to be down to Gwyn and Rand now.
Yeah, again,
The
I
many-headed
think
dragon line.
Yeah, well, that's
Does
because they
Brando?
had just watched Game of Thrones, and that's fine. All right, that's fine. But I think let's ignore that thought.
Okay. All right,
yeah.
we'll table that for a second. Keep going.
If that turns out to be true, then we fucking literally download a copy of the thing and burn the tear up, like we burn it. All right. If that happens, then fuck all. All right. But for now, let's pretend that that's not really what's going to happen, or assume, not pretend. That being said, you have a very, very valid point here. And again, as I forget who said it, like, yes, Moiraine is supposed to be the focus, especially of season 1, because she's a fantastic actress. She's a fantastic point, and it kind of changes. Yeah, it's Hello Sunmaid. That she does make a fantastic kind of impartial, perfect viewer for you to come in like the neutral. Who is the dragon? Who is this? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there's this weird, like almost like giving it too much credence of like, why are we spending this much time in the tower? Why are we spending this much time?
It's odd not to focus on the 5 people that left their village and instead like fuck like Samwise. Let's watch Gandalf for an hour and a half, and then maybe we'll watch Frodo for like 5 minutes. It's a weird choice.
I will be honest. I'd rather watch Gandalf sometimes.
I mean,
some of the
90%
things
of
Well, yeah, you would. Of course you would, because that would be awesome. And also, they're really trying to make
the wizard character. And
Yeah.
But here's the point, though: the Eye of the World is the Lord of the Rings, and everyone's seen that, and they don't want to show us that again. And I understand, like, so
It's
like
also
maybe they
fucking Harry
don't want
Potter.
to like.
90% of
Hey,
the book
let's
is
focus on this.
Dumbledore, and then occasionally you see Harry Potter. Like, this is strange.
I mean, Rand is a baby that lived.
It's just interesting. Interesting
We're so
choice
dumb.
to focus
so
on
dumb. All right, so let's
the guide.
Wait, all right. Let me go through my based on how powerful the Aes Sedai or overpowered the Aes Sedai are. I thought she was going to heal his hand instead of unknitting that knot.
So did I.
I was honestly expecting a hand to be like, oh, hey, look, I'm fine, because I was like, that's how crazy powerful the Aes Sedai have been the whole time. That's just a one-off thought.
I thought for sure we were going to see that, but instead, some eagle-eyed guy with his dog in the woods saw her untie a knot. And then was so sure that he convinced other people that she untied a knot.
She is doing this to untie a knot, and then it magically unties.
So that's a question. When they're doing this and like the white stuff is going around them, can other people see it, or is that just for the viewers?
It should just be for the viewers.
It's just for the viewers' benefit.
Okay.
People can't see that.
So I guess
but they can see them doing this, like doing weird.
So in this world, never.
So if you see someone just on the side doing like,
don't do interpretive dance in the Wheel of Time world.
Not for a millisecond. You're fucked.
Uh-oh.
So moving past Swan, I like that we finally got Moraine's blue gem.
Oh yeah.
Well, my next note is Leanne is awesome. If they follow her arc at all, it will be interesting flip side of that coin.
Oh, I can't wait to see her like start it up later. That's
And,
very
like, that'll
She's
be
gonna be, like,
really
jerking
weird
that
if
fucking
she
rod
goes
up
down the
and
path
down.
that they wrote in the books. Anyway, but yeah, penance.
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote penance ? For Aes Sedai. That's an Elida thing, isn't it? Do they
Yes,
do
it
penances?
That's
like so. Again, they're like introducing these weird things like way ahead of time.
That's been there. Like that's always a thing. It's just rare.
Tom is right. Yes, Tom is right. Like, you can send it yourself. Remember, Alana does it when
an Aes Sedai consenters itself to a penance.
Yeah,
but it's rare and weird.
It doesn't.
The Amirlan seat being like you're being punished is supposed to be like fucking bizarre.
Also,
later,
it's very strange to me to assemble the entire hall, and then someone comes in and they've done something wrong. And then the final verdict.
And then you're like, all right, you can go.
I'm going to think about your penance. We'll talk about this later.
Also, she tells the hall to, or she tells, like, why is Moiraine so singled out when Moiraine was a late joiner here? Yes, she was one of the 3, but she's not in that circle, right? Like, they were
the first 3 in the room, and they were the ringleaders, basically. Everybody else
was a late joiner. It doesn't matter. Like, it's just so like this doesn't make sense as a who's singled out and who's not, right? I mean, like, again, those the Reds were behind him. If anything, the Reds, like the other 3 Reds, should have been called
All right,
forth
so
because they are red.
let me highlight a few of these thoughts from chat because they're kind of echoing my own thoughts. Once the Dragon Reborn is revealed, we can all breathe a sigh of relief. This is from GL Wrath. Breathe a sigh of relief and not get worried about something we knew since like a couple chapters in the Eye of the World.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I kind of said this to Jono earlier, and I was like, I feel like a lot of the things that we're all having problems with is like, one, Rand not seeming important, but that's all gonna fucking change when he's like, I'm the Dragon Reborn, and you're gonna be like, oh fuck, this is crazy. What I was saying was like, if they, as long as the mystery persists, we're gonna be annoyed. I feel like with every episode,
I don't mind the mystery
like,
persisting. I mind. Like, it doesn't bother.
The point being is like when the mystery is resolved and we do know it's Rand, like that'll sort of right the ship, so to speak, in terms of like the readership.
Yeah.
And like the book readers. So like, because those people will be like, oh, I can finally breathe a sigh of relief. And like, I know I can say certain things out loud. And I know that like everyone else knows, but the audience will know that as well. So like the show will be able to show certain things that they couldn't before. Like Rand maybe channeling to smash that door. Or like, you know, like certain things like that. Like, you know, I don't know.
I think there is an issue there. Like other than the point you just mentioned about him channeling that door open or, you know, the whole thing just falling over. Rand is the least interesting, the least used, the least kind of
his pants.
Yeah, other than dickless chaps. I love the wide leather belt. Other than that, like there's nothing of interest to him. Like if he had just been like picked up, like, oh, this guy just holds our horses, you would not have noticed anything about him besides briefly wanted to.
I have a lot of land thoughts.
Oh, well, let's get to it.
We do not have all night long. So so we're still on the scene in the hall, right? So my biggest
let's go.
Biggest takeaway here was that Moraine claiming that she didn't know Nynaeve could channel in front of everybody in the hall, so they can't tell other people can channel.
Oh, that's a very good point.
She's not.
Hold on. Can channel versus can right now is a very interesting dichotomy, right? I may be able to channel next week, but if no one's taught me, or if I can't do it.
Oh, well, now we're getting I'm going to go with Tom's more broader spectrum thought. Yeah. And that's like, did she actually not know that or not?
She can't sense Nynaeve's ability to channel.
But does that mean
no one questions that? So apparently that's not a thing they can do on the.
So two thoughts there. One, no, she couldn't, and she's telling the truth. But then the Egwene Breakbone Fever conversation from episode 5 changes that completely. Because the idea, like when you're watching the show, you're going, oh, maybe that was literally the first time Nynaeve channeled, and that could have been true.
Okay.
But then she tells the Breakbone story or the Breakbone
Fever story. Like, there's no.
Well, if she's telling the Breakbone Fever story, then that's probably the first time she channeled, like as in the books, and therefore. Clearly, she's been able to channel this whole time, so Moraine should absolutely have known that. So,
but again, I didn't know she can channel. I forget her exact word, and we need to follow her exact wording because I didn't know you can channel right now because you're not angry or because you're not moved to do it.
So you think it's like
it's eyes to die? Yeah, I think it's slippery. Yeah, Moraine stretching the truth.
Okay. All right.
She's stretching the truth here, but she can't manage to stretch the truth when she's like, "What's been your mission been?" She's like, "I can't say.
I can't tell you.
She can't come up with
say anything. I like cataloging flowers. Yeah. I should have been a brown Aja."
It's all, and that's the thing.
That would have been a lot.
It's so like I love so much of what's going on, and then there's like certain pieces that are just thrown in your face that just seem so bizarrely bad.
There's a Nakamura thing. Great question, Tom. I think Sarah Nakamura confirmed on Twitter the show has changed. They can only sense other channelers when they are embracing the source. But then somebody else said Nakamura comment is not a quote or like not like official, I guess.
I wonder how many people are mad at us that we're complaining this much. We're just ready. We're kind of ready.
I guarantee that's not the case. All right, Leandrin is really good at making me hate her. I can't wait until everyone hates her with us.
Marilyn really just gives her free reign to just say whatever the fuck she wants for like 10 minutes in the middle of the meeting of the Hall of the Tower where she's being punished for breaking.
It's awful. Like this again. Swan Song in the books is so politically adept in so many fucking ways. and I can only assume that I hope they ramp it up further.
It's mind-boggling that she didn't hear about Nynaeve already.
Even if it's not even that, just don't get fucked by some dumb red cunt. Like that's literally Blue Ajah #1 is do not get fucked by like the polar opposite.
Jesus.
Oh wait, put that back up.
No, that's true.
Yeah. Joe, you'd put up a quote from. I thought it was like Moraine could sense Nynaeve's potential, but didn't know she could actually channel already. Also confused me when I heard it. That's from Hello Sunmaid.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what? Honestly, actually, you know what, Jono? To your point, what she said was, "I didn't know she could channel at the time," or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that like close to her?
She obviously knows now.
Yeah.
At the time, I didn't know she could channel. She could basically say that truthfully, referring to any time, because she was very vague about what time.
Literally any time.
Yeah.
1:02 p.m.
Yeah.
I wrote Moraine heals Matt. Let's rant like lunatics.
Oh, I want to go back. I want to go back.
No. We have to keep moving.
No. There's two things that I think are very interesting though.
Better take 5 seconds. And me and Joe are not going to comment on it.
Okay, that's fine. So one, they talk about the fact that Logain mentions, and maybe it doesn't necessarily have any truth to it, but I think it does, that people whisper that you guys are weak outside of here. The further you get, the more they whisper that, which is funny because as we talked about in episode 2 or 3, maybe you should take in random wilders like the like Nynaeve's predecessor. She was turned away because of her accent. That seems bizarre. And then 2, why is Logain aimed at the Amirlan? Logain literally says that I raise an army to attack the Amirlan, and I to supplant, almost like he believes the dragon should be similar to in Age of Legends almost, right, where the dragon, or not necessarily the dragon, but there was the Tamirlan. There we go. Could have been male or female, and just was the ruler of Aes Sedai. It doesn't matter what gender.
Yeah, that
was to me the weirdest. And maybe again, it's just a guy speaking, trying to get killed or something like that, because I thought he did a very good job. But that to me was a sentence that brought up so many different questions of why are you aimed at the Amirlan, unless A, which doesn't make sense,
2,
someone like a Forsaken was calling 2. But no, if one of the Forsaken had been whispering in his ear to attack, that would have made sense. But otherwise, it's just a very bad throwaway line that is totally not in keeping with the expectations for someone who did legitimately believe he could have been the Dragon Reborn.
No, I think he was trying to commit suicide by cup.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was trying to do. He was trying to commit suicide.
Moving on to the dagger scene.
Oh, Moraine heals Matt?
Yeah. First.
Do you want to talk about the tea again?
So many things here. Well, number one, it was super fucking cool. I did like it in the show.
Yes.
Like, it's not like I didn't enjoy it. It was fucking amazing. The fucking floating dagger on one hand and then the taint went under her mouth and that was fucking cool as shit. Like, I loved it.
However, very cool. Yeah.
Gets the dagger. Then he acts weird for a couple episodes, and then you don't know what the fuck is going on. Especially as someone that hasn't read the books, you're just like my wife hasn't. She's like, I don't understand why he's being an asshole. And then all of a sudden she's like, well, I got that dagger away and solved that problem. And she says, I healed Matt as long as he never touches it again. I'm like, that's it? So weird.
It's
maybe it's
Brandon Sanderson wrote this part.
I wrote way less dangerous, as in doesn't get the weight of what that is across. I don't feel.
I did love that it tried to jump from him to her, and she stopped.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was fucking cool. But then again, she literally was talking to Yellow Aja about she obviously has Yellow Aja not working for her, but working with her, sending her messages and healing Perrin, and that's one of her eyes and ears, I guess. I don't know, but it's
that doesn't make sense.
You couldn't have brought one other Aes Sedai into the room and just made this is too much for me alone. I brought 2 sisters with me, or something, or shown that she was using an Angreal or something to make it seem like it's bigger than just her. That she can't do it by herself.
She does say he's fully healed, basically, in the episode, right? I'm not crazy.
No, I think he is fully healed
as long as he never touches it again.
As long as he never touches it again, which is again,
Farsighter, he's not fully healed.
I'm almost positive.
She did what she could. So she said she healed
Anybody
him
else?
of the dagger, but there's a darkness in him that's separate from the dagger that was like feeding off itself. So like it kind of like
That's why
hits
they had
at,
to
like, a
replace
bigger
him.
problem with Matt.
Yeah.
But what the fuck that is? That's not book related. So I wouldn't know what that means. But I do think she healed him completely, quote unquote, from the dagger.
Yeah, healed him with a connection. Because what happens, like it in the books, obviously, when he's not fully healed, he has the yearning for it, right? He knows, like, he needs to have it near. Whereas in this case, she immediately, well, presumably, takes it away from him. Now, where the knife goes, I don't know.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I remember, like, the second time through, I was like, I couldn't remember if I'd heard it correctly the first time, and so I watched it again tonight, and I was like, man, really? He's fully healed? Like,
I like my theory here, and it's an awful theory without any sense of reason besides I want it to be so.
Yeah,
is that Peyton Fane somehow gets the dagger. Like, that's the only thing that makes sense.
She could also be wrong. She could think she fully healed him and be wrong. Like, we're assuming everything that a character says on the screen is accurate, and that's
true.
That's very true, Tom. That's very
true. Doing right now.
Well, because we'll get to it, but later when she's like, "Oh, the Dark One's prison's at the eye of the world," obviously she's just misinformed. I'm hoping, but anyway,
like that's another one that made me almost.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, and I've shat my pants a lot this week.
All right, so passing the dagger. You want to jump to the bath? The real thing here is
no, I'm kind of still here, but only because I want to talk about Lan in depth. So, what is a fucking order in this show? I wrote like Rand draws a sword on Lan. All right, fine, but like,
don't you do it?
Lan doesn't. He doesn't stop the dagger. Like, he doesn't go into the ways first. Like, there's so many, like, little tiny things, and I'm like, motherfucker, like, like, why wasn't his hand there? Like, that would have been a badass Lan moment to just be like, I caught this before Moraine even knew what was happening. Like, that's what my job is. Like,
to your point,
kind of thing.
One
like,
of the coolest things he does in book
like,
one.
he should have stopped Rand. Like, Rand should have been drawing that sword out 2 inches, and he should have shoved it back into the hilt or something, or into the scabbard. I mean,
one of the coolest things he does in book one is when Matt is losing his fucking mind, about to kill Moraine. Like, it's described as like,
and he stops
Lan is at the door and there,
and then suddenly he's holding
space.
Matt's wrist, and the dagger is like an inch from her throat, and she was like, "Holy shit, I almost died." Like, I understand that you're showing Moraine as like the quote unquote main character so far, like, and that part I get, but you don't need to do it at the detriment of like showing how cool a warder in general is, but also Lan is, as we all know, is the fucking best. So it's like,
Moraine would
need
look
a
more
like they
badass
really need to unnerf this dude
Wolverine.
and let him like be let him be fucking Batman, man. Like, kind of thing. Like, I'm like, come on, man.
So
like,
what are you saying?
Perfect. Sorry.
No, I think Moraine looks more badass if she has somebody like Batman or Wolverine guarding her back and her beck and call. Instead, it's just like,
it doesn't. It's not a show of weakness. It's not like it's like a knight in shining armor and she's a damsel in distress moment. It's just like, it just shows that, like, hey, look who works for me, and just like does everything.
If my number 2 can murder your fucking face, imagine why I'm number 1.
When
Yes.
When Moraine goes to hook up with Swan later, and Lan's like, "Well, I'll keep watch on everybody while you're gone." I'm like, "Well, I don't feel confident in that at all."
No,
I don't feel like you're capable of watching anything.
So far, all you've done is lead him into Shatter Loga,
which was a good idea in the books. Not
lose them all. Not
Yeah.
demonstrated for some reason that you were 1,000 times better than Steppen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will you put Anaya's comment up? That's basically how I feel about it.
Where's one? Personality wise, the Warders have been fully fleshed out as characters in the show. Badass wise, it's sadly lacking. That is 100% correct.
And I do like that they're being fleshed out, but at the same time, like, part of what makes them badass is they're just RoboCop. Like, they have very little personality.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Sadly,
like,
yeah. So I
Not
don't
quite.
begrudge the personality, but when you subtract those moments from them to show like what they're there for, like,
one of my favorite parts about
to me. Like, why are you changing that?
I mean, there was an attack on the fucking camp. They were not. They had no idea it was coming. They were like, "Wait a minute,
They
what
were just
the
drinking on the
fuck?"
campfire.
One of my favorite parts about Waters. Remember when Min is just coming into Camelin, right? And I think it's book 5, maybe. Rand already has Camelin, and like Min was with the some of the Aes Sedai had come from the Two Rivers, right?
That is also true, Brando.
Yeah, they'd all be dead. If
They'd
Land
also
didn't.
be dead if Land didn't land them in the Shadow Logoth. I know that.
But
There
I
actually
feel like
there are actually no consequences from Shadar Logoth, by the way. None.
yeah,
Rand facing Rand with a finger was bad. Like, all right, Rand pulling out a sword, even though he shouldn't have been able to, and then Land facing down a sword with nothing but his finger, again, is badass. You're true. That is true.
But Min, remember Min's got that crush on that one dude, but she's like, it's not hot anymore because I like Rand, like who was like kind of like overly like talkative, and he loved to do like weird puzzles. I thought that was cool. Like he had a personality. He had this. He'd always tell her like, "Don't go out, little lamb, but if you do, be careful." Like he had a personality, and he was kind of just like a fully fleshed out guy. Like these guys just seem to have been fully fleshed out, as Anaya mentioned, but lost their skills. It's just
so the main things that I'm talking. So I'm not upset that Land's showing emotion. I'm not like really like upset that Land isn't like the Land from the books per se. They're kind of showing a different version of him in the show, which is totally fine. There's a different version of everyone.
Yeah.
It's just like, why are you robbing him from like, it's just these subtle moments. Like he should move in the door first and annoy her by it. You know, like little things like that. Like Land wouldn't let Moraine just open the way gate and then walk into the ways for even a footstep before he was like, let me go in first. Like that's just like who he is. That's who
he is and what he does.
It's those little moments that I'm like, it's not that I wanted him to be like, I'm a badass. I'm gonna flip through the ways with torches lit, and I'll light the way. And it's just like, I just want him to step in front of her like a dickhead, and then be like, no, me first, kind of thing. Like that's his whole thing. Like if I'm gonna die, or if you're gonna die, I'm gonna die first. Period.
And the worst part is
every
Land.
dangerous situation ever needs to have Land between Moraine and that situation.
It's not just Water; it's Water squared with Land Mandragora and the person who he is. But anyway, fuck it. Next scene.
Well, hold on. So there's if Land was exactly like Land from the books for TV, it wouldn't work. The actors have to emote, but yet this not the Land that we could have been portrayed. So again, I'm not against him having. I'm not against any of those things. It's the subtle bodyguard moments that I'm looking for. That I'm why such a little thing.
I'm not even looking for Geralt of Rivia, who, by the way, does work on TV. It doesn't have to be Geralt from The Witcher, but it could be a fucking something literally anywhere on the spectrum between where they are and where they expect to be in the books. Mm-hmm. But regardless,
it even gives a lot more weight to what like this. All right, so the scene where they're attacked, the arrows are flying through the air, and Land steps in front of the nave. That would have had a lot more meaning if we'd seen him do that for Moraine, like in other situations. Like he only does this for Moraine. All of a sudden we see him do it for Nene, and we're like, shit, he might have feelings for her. Instead of like, it just looks like he did it because he's like, I'm a good guy. And I'm sad because my friend died.
Oh,
yeah.
Just
Anaya, if they'd been amazing warriors during the Dragon's Horn attack, or Land had caught Matt's hand and done crazy things, we wouldn't have to complain about even the character role. I mean, like that.
That's a good point, Anaya. And honestly, that probably would have been better for everyone watching us. But
also, the Waygate thing is the most annoying. Agreed.
I don't even know what
again, not catching the dagger. Sure, he was dealing with Rand in that moment, but not going into the Waygate first. Yeah,
look,
such a simple thing.
We like the show. We're happy it exists. This is tWoTcast episode therapy. Like we just have to. We have to get it all out.
Like, we're gonna look like that scene in Wet Hot American Summer, just holding like our tea and just in a robe.
And I can't believe it. I heard Jono say next scene and then Joe go backwards, and then I came in and commented on Joe and going backwards. So congratulations, Jono. Let's go to the next scene. Let's just talk about the stuff.
Was I going backwards or was I highlighting?
Yes. That
bond masking, traveling to Rangreal, Dream Shard.
No. Bond masking. This.
I have to talk about how the fuck does she know that an Aes Sedai sunk the Terran ferry?
Oh,
and then we sent recompense to who? He died. His son died. The town was wiped out by Trollocs.
Well, we don't know the son died.
Yeah, he did. There was thousands of them.
There's
no
Tom.
alive
I'll
to
tell you.
survive.
I'll tell you what happened. It's very
This
simple.
is making me so happy. Tom is now Jono.
Oh my
Tom,
god.
Tom, it's very simple. This is what happened. There's a bag of gold sitting at the end of Terran Ferry.
Look, here's what happened. If somebody called the White Tower and wanted the money for the ferry and the recompense, somebody's committed insurance fraud. And I guarantee it's some asshole from Devon Ride.
Devon Ride? Why not Terran Ferry?
Because they're all dead.
Oh.
There's no one to send recompense to. Drove me
man.
insane. I feel like I heard Nathan and I destroy the Terran Ferry. I'm like, who the fuck told you that?
It was a fucking tinker or something. It was some bullshit.
It was cool that they mentioned the disappearing ships and the Isle.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I saying there was a Trolloc attack on the two rivers. I'm kind of like, I guess you could have heard about that, but I don't totally understand how you would have heard.
Also, it's from the west.
I think that's I buy that.
Like, how do they know
came through the ways? And did somebody else leave the two rivers and go tell everybody?
Yeah, but how do they know it's from the west where the ways are? Like, why couldn't it have been south, east, north? Like, it's all on a fucking giant. It's nonsensical. It does.
People complain that Narg didn't talk in the first episode. Turns out he did.
He's just running all over the place.
Look
what we did.
Fucking Narg.
Narg. That's what that's a hard G. It was supposed to be a soft C.
It was definitely nice tonight. I sunk that ferry.
Yeah.
Are you a Trolloc? No, bro.
All right, so Egwene, Moraine, and Perrin.
No, we are not getting the fuck out of here.
We're not done with Magan?
No, I'm way done with that. I'm on Bond masking and traveling Terangriel or
Where the
Dream
fuck
Shard.
are you,
Where the
Tom?
fuck was that? Where are you going?
Yeah, Tom, we're on.
Moraine meets with Egwene. She still hasn't gone to have her hookup yet.
Oh, okay.
You're mad at me for skipping ahead? You're skipping ahead.
No, I'm not mad at you for skipping ahead. I'm just skipping ahead.
All right, go ahead.
No, it's okay. What are you going to say about Egwene and Perrin?
The only thing that I really liked was like so many times in the books they have problems with each other because everyone's keeping secrets from each other. I actually did like when Moraine showed up and Egwene was like, by the way, he's got yellow eyes.
Hey, by the way, golden eyes over here. You should have seen that shit. Wolves were everywhere. I actually like that a lot too.
Yeah,
that's actually one of the first times ever that you brought up a valid point, and I appreciate it very much. And I also appreciate Moraine's unnecessary, but at the same time very necessary burn on Nynaeve about, hey, you want to be called wisdom?
That was a necessary burn.
It was very
that
necessary.
was a necessary.
But I don't really
burn.
care for a Nynaeve takedown. I love Nynaeve,
but not
I love
this
Nynaeve
version.
as well. What?
Not this version. Who
I
thinks
do.
that? Like, it doesn't make any. All right, fine. This version probably fine. I've got no. What bothers me about this scene every goddamn.
They're all visual podcast, right?
You've been viewing this the entire time, Drab.
It's actually Dr. Ab. But ripped core. What fascinates me here is the Watchers, right? Like, she keeps saying, I've got Watchers looking for this. I got Watchers looking for this. How is it that you have missed this over and over?
I mean, Leandrin's eyes and ears are fucking spot on.
And the Reds are supposed to have, well, not the worst. Actually, the Yellows are ironically supposed to be the worst, even though they somehow still found these people before. They're the ones who brought Moraine in.
These people.
Yeah, it makes me happy every time.
I cannot show that.
Yeah.
So
that's a very inventive spelling of that.
I feel like
Probably better than what I
I
was.
really liked it.
So let's get to it. I enjoyed like the episode all the way up to this point. I was like, whatever, like I'm enjoying it, and changes are changes. And then all of a sudden, Moraine teleports.
Yeah, that was jarring as fuck. For book readers, you were like, what in the motherfuck? And then like, so is she opening up a gateway? Shouldn't be able to. Is it a Terangriel? Fucking weird.
Be
Why
able
does she have
to.
that?
Is it the world of dreams?
I think it's
Like
the world of dreams.
It must be the world of dreams. I think it is the world of dreams.
And again, any thoughts, theories, whatever the fuck that are on there, please let us know. I heard, and I don't know if it's true. I love the I heard that maybe there's something in one of those like X-ray things. My thing doesn't support that. My thing doesn't support that. Is
Your
my
thing
wife?
doesn't support that, John?
Yeah, Shanda says that all the time.
Seems
Your thing
weird.
doesn't support shit.
It's a thin penis. But this was awful. I briefly was like, oh, I can mask the Bond. That's kind of cool that she knows how to do that. Wait, why the fuck is that coming up? Because the Bond, I think itself has been underplayed pretty badly anyway, but it's book one. That's fine.
What are you talking about? They
Yeah.
devoted a fucking episode to the Bond. It's called Steppin'.
But they did an awful job with that.
Are you insane?
I thought they did an
So
awful
I agree with Watt's summary here. Terangrial to a Dream Shard is what I've, on a second viewing and
Or
when I was
just a
much more
dream
calm, was
triangle
like,
where they, yeah.
yeah, Dream Terangrial. To it.
Well, I know.
It
Well,
was
that's a different
to
thing.
a place that they created. It's obviously Swan's home
Yeah.
or something like it.
It's
a Dream Shard in that respect. Like it's a thing that she made up in the dream world that is permanent that they both travel to.
It's confusing that
It's
Moraine
still
travels-
fucked up that that's
Well, so
being-
Moraine travels there like that, and jumping ahead a little bit, then Swan's like, I had a dream about the Dark One at the Eye of the World. And Moraine's like, fuck, we have to go there. And I was like, all right. So Swan's clearly a dreamer if they're giving her one dream this much weight.
Unless Balsamon gave it
And
to
you
her.
jump to the next
Yeah.
scene, it shows that she has the same thing in her room that Moraine used to travel. And like, so Swan's not a dreamer, but she had a dream, and Moraine's like, we have to do this.
It's a one. So, yeah, there's a lot going on there. Like again, so Watt summary is a little smarter than we are. We'll pretend that's not true.
When have they ever not been smarter than us, John?
How dare you? I said a little. So like, we're going to consider that to be something close to gospel, right? So a dream shard makes that's technically what Ishmael does, or Ishmael, the entire part of book one, right? Like bringing you into my dream.
But that's frustrating. That's advanced dreaming. It lowers what the wise ones do with the queen later. And then Moraine and Swan shouldn't know how to do this
unless they have a Terangrial that does it.
Way to her bedroom. Why not just walk to her bedroom in normal clothes and then put on your giant man shirt later?
There's a lot of questions about that.
Maybe they are actually like opening a doorway to, like a gateway to a specific location.
Gateway? That's worse.
With the Terangrial, like they're not doing it. Like they don't have the power to make one just to anywhere.
Joe,
it's like a thing that they're.
Watt summary. We have to assume Watt summary is correct because I will lose my fucking mind if there's anything related to gateways or Terangrials that make gateways. Even a dream gateway is still frustrating enough. And I literally
agreed. You have not earned it, Watt summary.
Well, first off, you misspelled her name. There's a T at the beginning.
Honestly, there's no answer to this that doesn't annoy the fuck out of me.
It's awful.
That's kind of
no reason to do it.
That's the problem that all the book readers
up.
They were just
why
like,
do
why
this?
The fuck?
This changes
First
the
of all,
dynamics of the entire world.
Been like a room of requirements
for no reason
in Hogwarts, and they could have just gone and had sex in the building. Like, just go to her room.
I love Joe, Tom, and I for once are having like a legitimate conversation about this changes it, and Joe's on a great diatribe about
why? Like, literally, Patton Fane comes out from behind a tapestry and talks to Elida in whatever book. Like, that's it. Just. Secret passage. Where I'm in the Merlin study.
Maybe they can't have the secret passage.
Fuck there.
Because Leandrin has that Marauder's map.
Look at that fucking Marauder's map. So we had to go off beat.
Yeah, you got to go off Marauder's map. My bad. How stupid of me.
It's so fucking, and like I think it's a beauty. I love the get down on your knees and tell me you love me thing. From Home
that was great. That was great. Oh, I have, by the way, like book spoilers, now that we're in here, no problem with that part at all. Like that, whatever. I'm like, okay.
I love him.
Moving on.
About how book readers can't stand them being lesbians. No,
I was going to go smoke, but I really wanted to point that out. Thank Christ there's a lesbian relationship. It is kind of exhausting in the books that he treats all possible lesbian relationships as college girls experimenting in freshman year.
Right,
Come on.
that aspect of this part of the scene, doesn't in any way. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Who gives a fuck? Yeah, good for them.
It was how they got there. That's what I was like, what the fuck? What's going on? Like, that's the part where I'm like, how dare they? And then everyone else is like, what? They're in a relationship? And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. We're moving on.
Like I said, I literally scoured at Bruce's. They are in the Ivory Tower, which is the
anyway.
I scoured the internet briefly. I was like, what the fuck is happening to have this happen? And like, well, it's because they're lovers. That's not in the book. I'm like, I don't care about that. Not what I'm fucking talking about in episode 6. Fuck that. I want to know how the fuck they got there.
Can we talk about the post-sex conversation with 5 possible dragons? Or are we all kind of like, that's not happening? That's just a miss. That's
like I feel like I'm on autopilot here.
I mean,
you know? Who's the squirter?
What do you mean?
Well, of the two of them. I mean, we're playing that harem gift. So I love it's called the harem gift.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron wasn't in the episode. Sorry, guys. By the way, I've come to figure out it's clearly like you better believe it's not butter or whatever.
I guess
we were like, is that mustard? Is it mayonnaise? I don't understand. And then
Jesus Christ. By the way,
anyway,
not
back to what we're talking about.
Where was I? Oh,
I don't know.
I was actually a legitimate point here. Oh, your post-sex scene. It's yellowish squirter. Is that how they divide them up? That can't be good. That is.
Yeah, the post-sex scene split the souls into many. That better not be the case. I was like, fuck that. And also, that better not be like, here, let's plant this seed in the audience's brain so they'll accept it later. If it's like, let's plant this seed in the audience's brain so it's like a red herring, great. But if it's like, if you're planting this like the dragon's soul was split into these 5 individuals and they have to together say, and like Rand is like less important or whatever the case may be, I'm gonna be like, fuck you.
Yeah,
you know, like I'm not gonna like it.
It's a weird thing now. Like, you know, growing up, like I personally read the books when I was 10 to I guess 36, obviously, but you know, like 10 to 15, kind of like that core, like when you read the books, right?
10 to 36,
yeah, so to say like, well, it has to be Rand. Like, why does it have to be Rand? Like, but at the same time, like this is. Yeah, let's heal with their vaginas. Now, we always had a question about whether or not if you could heal your vaginas. Like, they always had that young pussy, right? Like, as they got older, because they didn't age, right? If you remember Joe, like Joe's putting that innocent face on. But if you remember, like, that kind of, like, remember the amount of really good highbrow episodes we had about discussing, like, what does even like a 250-year-old Aes Sedai vagina like has that unlined face up above.
Oh, you mean like hanging meat curtains? Is that what you're talking about?
What's that look like below?
Yeah. See, he knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
Anyway, I get off topic on it.
The mount is ageless. Jesus Christ. Oh, god damn it.
Ageless Mound is actually my work
password. Our viewers know us too well. All right.
Yeah, it's just our wives.
I've been holding out for the Rand reveal being sort of like a righting the ship, so to speak, for the book viewers. Yeah. And I think that's where they're going, and it feels like that's where they're going, and it feels like this is a red herring, but at the same time, if it's not, I'm going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and I don't even disagree with like making a Gween. I mean, we talked about this in our.
I love a Gween being a 4th tWoTcast
podcast. Yeah. No, or 5. I don't even care if it's 5. I don't even care.
If
it's Nynaeve, if it's all of them. I don't care if they're all Ta'veren and he needs.
What about Elaine?
That's fine. No, never Elaine. She's a bit.
No, but I 100% agree. Right? Like, I mean, these are people who literally like make the pattern move, not to the same extent as the dragon, but at the same time, like, they are 100% massively influential for every person they speak, they interact with whom they interact, and so like they should absolutely be the definition of Taviran. Farstrider says, "What's the point of the ageless face if the JJ doesn't follow suit?" That's a great question, and how do you? Maybe that's one of the perks of having a warder or being a warder, right? Like, I'll tell you what, you're going to be fucking me and I'm 200 years old, but guess what? You're not going to feel that. You're going to feel like I'm 18 still. You know what? Like, that's why forever, 40 years, you can be my warder and it'll still feel that way.
Does the ageless face still match the carpet? Wait, so did we talk about Moraine and Siuan literally in tears in the hall? So bizarre. I said I do not do that shit. That being said, again, they're emoting more for the show for obvious reasons. That being said, I have a lot of thoughts on that, but we'll table that for when we get to that hall scene. But Siuan's dreamed about the Dark One at the eye. Like, what the fuck? Let's talk about that. I hate
everything about this. I hate everything about this.
But it's weird that they think it's important. I mean, it's one thing to be like, oh, dreams are important, blah blah blah. Maybe dreams are affecting her, like, I don't know, when the like Samuel's in, Ilion or something, and like the dreams are everywhere. Like, that makes sense. Like, that part I could get.
Yeah, that's a symptom of madness.
But it hasn't been laid out in that way. It's just been like it's just been shown as this like, what the fuck. What a throwaway line, but at the same time, that line has weight to all the book readers. So why say it unless, like, that's the only way they could get them to the eye? That's it? Is just Siuan being like, I dreamed about it. Like, we're doing this.
Hey, Tom.
Take them all there. And she's like, what about the rest of the floor? And she's like, kill them all.
It's insane that the Maryland seat thinks the Dark One is at the eye of the world, limping around like a baby, and this is our big chance to kill him. She has no right to be in charge of White Tower. It's the stupidest fucking thing I ever heard.
Siuan has the foretelling according to X-Ray? God damn it,
what the shit, fuck?
She has one talent with a capital T. Siuan does. And that is she can.
So again, well, hold on a second. Let's just attack that thought.
Multiple times, Miranda's like, "I killed the Dark One," and Moraine's like, "You're stupid as fuck." And then Siuan's like, "I think the Dark One's at the eye of the world," and I think he might be sick. This might be our chance. We don't even know which one of them's a dragon.
We don't know which one of them. Take them all.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing, but let's go kill the Dark One. God damn it.
What? And even Moraine's like, what happens to the other four? Who cares? Water. Pushing each other into bushes.
There's this bizarre cavalier attitude.
Hold on. If Siuan has the foretelling according to X-Ray, then they're not telling the story the right way in the show. And I mean, like, and that's fine. I mean, like, if I have to dive in like a psycho to unpack all the television show details through weird subtext and like shit I should be watching off screen, like, that's okay, because I'm a crazy Wheel of Time fan, and that's what I've been doing for years. However, casual reader or watchers of the show are not going to do that, and they're going to be like, wait, why the fuck? Why is that a certainty? Like, why are they going to the end of the world? What does that mean?
It's 10:40, and I wish it were 6:40 because I've got 5 more hours of this shit. Like, I feel bad for anyone watching this who's just kind of like. But to your point, though, right? Like, okay, if you're reading this casually, so you don't know dreams have anything beyond a little bit of influence, because dreams always have influence in fantasy books and fantasy shows. And she said, I had a dream where, the Dark One was at, whatever the dick. And the next scene is her going to whatever the dick. You're going to be like, what the fuck was that about? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make.
My assumption would be she's misinterpreting the dream, and she's either thinking of the Shamiel, or she's seeing the seal weakening on the Dark One's something. But like, God Almighty, she's in Maryland seat, and she thinks they can go kill the Dark One real quick.
Kill the Dark One, yeah. Because the Dark One's weak. Because
is it kill or is it like in prison again?
Kill. It's kill.
Say in prison.
She never says in prison. So maybe it's beat the Dark One or whatever the fuck, because the Dark One is weak. Right?
Let's go win the Super Bowl real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Again, the idea the Dark One is weak. The Dark One has less ability to.
I think it's more like stop him before he starts kind of thing.
But that's not what she's saying.
But I agree with you.
She can't lie, so she literally believes what she's saying. Well, not literally.
Yeah.
Again, it's just.
Oh God, I didn't even think about that. They're so misinformed. They're terrible.
I mean, this is commenting on an earlier comment, but the show is setting up Leandrin to overthrow Swan. She's definitely combined with Elida.
I assume that's the case.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe, because we thought Leandrin was a pretty big bad up front. I think in the first 2 books, and then Elida shows up as a bigger bad, and Leandrin gets kind of a
that could still happen. Elida could still pop in.
We haven't been to
that's from book 2. So I guess the question is, if they're going to have Leandrin be a kind of a composite of Leandrin and Elida, what happens to the fact that Leandrin is a massive Black Ajah character?
Well, there should be a threat out there in the world. I mean, not dissimilar to the books. The way that's going, I'm fine with that. Man, I hope not. I love Alviren.
Yeah, Alviren's dark as fuck in her own.
That was that Hello Sunmaid. I think Leandrin and Alviren are combined.
Yeah, we could go on. I honestly, if you guys wanted to pay for watch me drink and just yell about the fucking thing,
we're gonna go for like another 15 minutes, so we kind of need to move a little faster.
The pacing is crazy rushed at the end of this episode, and
it's not our.
I literally wrote Loyal, then Egwene, then a Neve, then a Neve and Egwene, and a Mirlin, and then Moraine contemplating suicide. Just kidding, it's an open balcony. Then Exile, then Horses. Then the Waygate. Then it's like the end of this episode is like, here's a scene, here's a scene, here's a scene, here's a scene. And it's like, and I said this the last episode, but there's like little to no connective tissue between, as what Tom was earlier, like the Emmons Field 5 and like those main characters that we know the main characters. As the show, like from the show's perspective, maybe Moraine's more the main character. But I still need more like just tiny little connective tissue. There's like it's missing this. I don't
care about the Emmons Fielders that much. Like we've barely seen them.
That's what I'm saying. I want to care about them more, and not even like care about them more, but to make it feel less rushed, perhaps give like a little bit more in between of what's happening,
and they're
to show like where we're going, and maybe a little less step in dying, that kind of thing.
They're tossing around the dragon like. Do you think it might be the dragon? Maybe I'm the dragon. Well, he's probably not the dragon anymore.
Yeah,
right?
They're like bad college teens.
This is so casually talking about this. It's crazy.
Do you think it's interesting that they don't mention the fact that, like, when Moraine's eating out Swan, that Ace Ventura was there?
Wait, it's the other way around.
Yeah. Ace Ventura was there. Like, I'm assuming that. We don't talk enough.
No, Moraine says on your knees.
All right, so moving a little faster. Do you think the person that Leandrin's meeting in North Harbor is a Shanchan?
I think it's a clitoris.
Okay.
That's actually a fantastic point, Tom. I just assumed like Dark Friend of some nature.
No, yeah, I assumed Dark Friend. It's too far. That's 3,000. Well, that's a lot of miles. Look over my shoulder.
No, the Shanchan connection makes a lot of sense. Like, if we're doing Fall in season 2, and like Shanchan connection makes a lot of sense. They mentioned ships sinking in the West,
but who brought her there? Who brought her there was another Dark Friends. The reason because they had a mutual master. Mutual master seems like I'm missing an adjective or a syllable.
Maybe not an actual Shanchan, but maybe it's a Dark Friend that's a connecting her to the Shanchan.
Yeah.
Who wants to take the lead on the complaints about the Oath Road?
Could also be Fane ? Interesting.
I like the Fane idea. That was my
Tom,
first.
What was your idea? Sorry, Tom. What did you say?
Who wants to bitch about the Oath Rod? Let's knock it out. Like we've got like 10 more minutes, so I got a lot to say about the final scene. So let's knock out the Oath Rod and do the final scene.
Okay,
go for it, Jonah.
No. No.
I'm even frustrated they're holding it at the same time.
The idea that you're going to take a fourth oath when the 3 oaths are holy. All right, fine. Let's pretend the 3 oaths aren't necessarily Like,
Yeah,
you open up,
making an Aes Sedai take a fourth oath should be like drastic, crazy measures that isn't done until like season 4 at least, or
this
something.
happens way late, and
Trot that shit out later. Like, why are you doing this so quickly?
every
She's
Aes
also
Sedai
literally-
loses her shit when it happens because it's literally searing you to the bone and tightening your pussy, and to do this because it's massively changing how you can live your life, right? Even just to be exiled.
minimizing the oath rod and the effect, and I think they thought it was making it bigger. I think it's worse.
Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
literally, you've already sworn an oath to tell the truth. Just say, "Hey, Tom."
Do you need to
Never
illustrate
come back
to
here.
people that the oath rod is important, and then showing that swearing the 3 oaths is important? Yes.
Then show us lean to the
Swearing
name.
a fourth
Just
oath
later,
the way
like,
to do that? Absolutely.
No.
not.
Especially
Like,
with,
you know, like that's
you've already sworn an oath that says I can't lie. So basically,
Yeah.
you just repeat after me, and she says the words. He's bound to it.
yeah.
Also, Marilyn
Yeah.
holds the oath rod and channels into it, and then says the words. I'm like, wait, doesn't that make you bound to that?
I solemnly swear I'm up to no good. That's not right.
Mischief managed.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's the unbreakable vow. It's the dumbest thing, though. Like it's
Listen, apparently Rosamund Pike was on another on a podcast, and they asked, "Is there a way that you prepared for that scene and for the gravity of it?" And she said, I mean, there were lots of things, you have to, one of the things you have to do is learn how to touch the oath rod without making it look like a cock." And all I have to say to that is, like,
what
should she be on our show? What's happening?
I know, right?
I guess
Also-
that works. Yeah, don't grab my dick that way.
I don't know. I'd take it. All right, let's
Yeah,
just
I'd take Rosamund Pike, grab my
let's
dick.
get to the final scene. You wanna hear No, we have to do it. You want to hear my first?
Well,
complaint?
hold on a second. They did a good job
dig
making me wonder if Siwan and Moraine were on the same team or not. I really did like that. They genuinely made me go like, "Fuck, are they going to change that for the show? Are they not going to be on the same
Yeah.
team?" Like that was they did a genuine good job. Good job.
Yeah.
I agree with you very much. That's one of the things they've actually done very, very well was kind of that ambiguity. And really, not even ambiguity. It was clearly they didn't until they started.
But getting back to like one of our comments was about them crying in the hall and stuff with each other. Like she adds all this flowery BS about Siwan as she's swearing the oaths, and I'm like, could
the
you
cleverest
have
Pike
made
I've
it
ever
more
met.
obvious that you know this person and that you're like swearing allegiance to only her, and like it was ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Yeah, not the right spell. Yeah, mommy. Yeah, didn't call me mother, call me mommy, and then just started doing this. Like,
right above that, she says Rosamund is my mom, and I read it and I was like, wait, is that true? Oh no! Cut this! Cut
It
this!
might
Cut
be.
this! Cut this! Cut it! Cut it! Cut the whole thing.
Why cut it? We just want Rosamund to come on the show.
I know it's too late.
I wrote this is here just to show the oath rod, but why? 5 minutes of
why?
time where we already did it.
know.
We already did it.
All right. Final scene. Here's my first problem. Loyal just
Yeah.
riding up on a horse.
Uh-huh.
Why?
I don't even care about the bad.
Why change that? Why change that?
What do you
Royal
mean?
rides a horse.
Just ride horses like
He
willingly?
does. He rides
All
the
by
hairy
himself.
fetlocked animal in books 1 and 2.
Well, he has to.
I mean,
he
he ri-
absolutely walked there.
He
He
rides
rides
a horse.
the
That's
hairy
true.
fetlock
That's true.
animal.
Tom, you're right. You're not wrong, Tom. You're not wrong. Also, if they're about to send the horses away and the horses won't survive the ways, like why does it... And he even says it. It was like, they're like, why are you doing that? Like Matt's like, why are you sending the horses away? And then like Loyal's like, oh, they won't survive the ways. And I was just
They're
like,
not even
why'd you
far.
ride one?
I can't stand that.
They're not
Why
even
would you
far.
send the horses away?
I don't know. Also, I really am. I'm really disappointed in how unprepared they were for the ways, so to speak. Like they had like a bag set to the side. I'm like,
I mean,
there should be like lantern poles and like all
Yeah.
kinds of equipment. They should be like, all right, let's go.
I mean,
let's go in the
they
ways.
haven't
We need a
getting rid
pack
of-
horse with food.
they haven't played up Aldieb or Mandar in the show, obviously. But
What
like,
about Bella?
shouldn't we assume that Lan and Moraine are riding like war horses that are highly trained?
No,
They're like,
Brandon, we can't.
nah, get out of here. We're done. with
Yeah.
it." No.
Again,
It
why
annoys
did you? you're exiled, right? So first off, as an exile, she probably should not have been able to take Nynaeve. You would have thought people would have watched that because, massively important, strongest channel.
She's going to start at Tower B.
Thousands
You'll be the
years.
strongest it with me. you exile me?
But
fire me, I
This
quit.
is called
That tower.
Hogwarts B.
She just Jerry Maguired her way out of the White Tower.
Did you see how clearly Dragonmount is right there? So they haven't gone that far. Did you really need to ride horses just to toss them into the wilderness? Because all they do is just slap their asses and say, "Best of luck to you, Mandarb."
Well, here's the thing. I feel like Landarb and
Landarb. I love
That's a
Landarb.
combination. That's the centaur version of Land's horse.
Holy shit! You just birthed 1,000 fanfic porns of Centaur Land. Way to go, dummy!
It's the best. That's the best Freudian slip I've ever had. Mandarb and Aldi, which is what I was trying to say. They're just hanging out. They're gonna run 10 feet into the forest and be like, "We'll wait for you." All those other horses, they're gone.
So again, it's the weirdest thing. Like the Waygate looks cool visually. It looks cool.
That's not a centaur.
I'm not upset at the Waygate the way that looks.
I'm
not
upset at the top of a hill that anybody can just walk to and be like, "Oh, this is."
Well, Waygates are kind of like that. They had been. Like Waygates were able to be used by anyone.
Assuming that was like once in Arrowgear Grove, like why isn't it within the city limits? Like why isn't it like that? It's those little things that bother me. About that.
Why make it outside of Tarvalon? That's where they are. And then secondly, why make it channeling opening? Because that takes away the whole point. Like, why did you bring Loyal? So I guess in this case, what they're expecting is you have to channel to open it, but then you have to read Ogier script.
Yes. So
navigate.
You can open it if you can channel, but you can't get anywhere. Or you know how to get somewhere if you're an ogre, but you can't open it. So that you need a team. It's Batman and Robin is the only way you can travel the ways.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Like, why?
Why change things that made a lot of sense?
I think that was the problem that a lot of book readers had with this episode. It was like so many changes that were like that made sense, so to speak, in terms of like all the episodes that came before it, but were sort of unnecessary in the long run. Like and granted, we don't know the long run, so maybe we'll look back at this 2 seasons from now and be like, all of that made sense. Right now, it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? You're breaking my brain.
And being able to use Waygates without a channeler, like it just changes. Like the implications from a lot of stuff in this episode for down the line are huge.
Yeah. And again, maybe a lot of it gets just, married out real fast next episode or 2 episodes from now that like ends up because they've atrophied so much. Every Matt horse joke is 100% perfect. I'll be very honest. Yeah. And
No, I can't get over it. Matt just chased down those horses and went straight back to that town. Is like, remember when that girl made fun of me?
Hey, remember that? Well, she humiliated me in this bar. She's dead. So now I'm the bartender.
Everybody
and
come
also
outside.
Horses.
You think he literally did the "How about them apples" joke, except like feeding them the horses?
So
joke of all time.
Why is it that I'm still confused why the door closes on Matt?
Because they fired the actor, which I don't understand how TV production works. I'm assuming it would cost millions of dollars, but a drastic change that big to one character, I'd be like, we should probably shut down for a month so we find somebody else to play this part.
Is he not in episode 7?
I don't know when that happened or when it didn't happen.
That's the prevailing theory, and when I'm reading that theory, and it seems like people know it as a fact, and I don't know if that's true.
So I was kind of talking to Jono about this like off podcast, but I feel like unless the reason is out there that I'm not aware of, but like it seems like it has to be something to do with like him that's personal and or mental and or physical health.
Yeah,
because like it was like drugs or like sex, horrible shit related. Like
broker,
that's like just, somebody would hate him and it would leak. Like like just somebody on set would be like, fuck that guy.
It's going to leak eventually.
And it would be out there. But because it's not, it just kind of like lends credence to the idea that like perhaps
something
they're all on
unfortunate
board
has
with
happened.
him,
Yeah.
Kind of
Also,
thing. So like
honestly,
it seems like it's a reason.
I don't want to know. Like,
What,
I
Lovey?
don't even. At
personalized.
this
I don't
point,
give a
it's like, get better. I don't care, or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
I
Like at
just
this
wish
point, it's
that-
just.
it drastically affects Matt's character.
I did
Yeah.
hear that they were going to actually I know they've got a second person to play him, but there was a third one in contention called Billy Zane.
Who the fuck is that?
Matt never returned after
that's
COVID. Oh,
Wait, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
what?
It's
Love
his
it.
personal. It's people's
Again,
personal
it's
lives.
not like
I don't
so.
care about
Whatever
actors'
the
personal
again,
lives. Yeah,
the
like,
point is, whatever the
too
reason
much.
is, who gives a shit? He's not going to be back.
Whatever the reason, I wish they would have found a different way around it than just being like, "Hey, he just won't go to the other world."
That being said, so I'm glad book spoiler territory. So let me talk about this for a second. You're not the way that the story has changed up until this point. Camelin was replaced by Tarvalon, and so on and so on. Like all these
Marilyn
different.
was placed by a player back.
But if you need Matt in Tarvalon with like Min and Egwene and Nynaeve,
Who?
Man,
Matt in Tarvalon with Min and Nynaeve and Egwene,
Hmm.
and like Gawain and Galad, like assuming that is all kind of sort of happening,
yeah.
like it makes sense that he doesn't go because then he's still there. Like to bring him out of there and then bring him back there, it would be weird.
So that
But
makes sense.
bring,
before-
like,
wise,
but to leave him there is like actually kind of makes
affects
sense.
his character that he made the choice not to go with his friends or anybody
Oh,
else.
I'm not saying it doesn't drastically affect his character. I'm just saying physically he's in the spot he needs to be in. And you can get him there story wise.
As a character at this point, to me, is unredeemable.
Fair enough. Okay.
I don't see what he could do. Like, I'm sorry, but like,
I don't know. I watched a
core-
lot of
the
TV
core of
shows
that
where
character
characters have
now
come
is
back from
either a coward
something that I
or
never thought they would
not
be
loyal or not a good
redeemable.
friend. He's a
One
shit.
at a time, please. It's like sex with
Yeah,
me.
it just doesn't work for me anymore. Like, I'll never root for
Yeah.
that character on the TV show.
All right, but here's the thing. Like, I really hated Ben from Lost, but that by the end of Lost, like, I loved Ben.
To a degree.
But here's the thing, though, is like you had an almost easy out, and maybe that's what they'll use, right? Like he actually wasn't cleaned of the dagger or something.
Well, so that's what I'm saying. So I think
Paranoia.
it's a combination of like the actor needs to step away for whatever reason, or he's being fired for whatever reason. And I think it's a combination of like, well, story wise, we need him to be in a certain place at a certain time. We also need to get rid of this guy, or he needs to go for whatever reason.
If
Let's
it's just
make this make
COVID, he has to
sense.
stay that
This is
far
a good
away.
time
I
to do
understand
it.
what you're saying. I'm just saying
Yeah.
there's no reason that they could come up with
Yeah.
that's going to make me like this character anymore. I'm like, he's
Fair
out.
enough. Okay.
He's grave robbing.
Okay.
He's leaving everyone to die, and possibly the entire world. And even if it's like, oh, I got to go take care of my sisters. Well, no, you actually put them in danger of dying too, along with the like.
Yeah,
I'm
you're one out of 4 dragons, which
Matt's,
I hate.
as far as I'm concerned, Matt's a villain.
Did we even make fun of enough of the idea that there were 5 or 4 possible dragons and a 5th that couldn't have been? The nomenclature there pisses me the fuck off. I hate everything about it. Like a possible dragon. It's not just like there are 4 people who could be. It's like there's something about that terminology that is just story ruining almost to me. And it's an interesting thing. Like you're a possible dragon. Like no, I'm either the dragon or I'm a false dragon. Like I'm not a possible dragon. Like that's just like, you know what? Maybe you were fated to be here. Like maybe you were in fact born on Dragon Mount with this lineage. No, there's not possible dragons. That doesn't happen 1 every 50 births. Happens to be just on the side of Dragon Mount. People aren't just dropping kids off there. Like that fucking that term is just stupid to me. Regardless, back to the point, I can't disagree with Tom whatsoever. Is that if this is what they do with the character of Matt Cawthon, and he somehow comes back, I mean, obviously he will come back, but like, it's nonsensical. It's going to be nearly impossible to be redeemable unless we find a secondary issue of why this happened. Maybe at the beginning of the next episode, he just goes, "Huh, kidding, coming on in." All right, because there was no reason for the door to have closed.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case though. Like, like it doesn't seem like that's where they're going with that.
Not at all. Should we talk about the ways? No, we should. We should end this.
No. Well, let's talk about next episode predictions.
I predict
for 2 seconds.
Tom and I get really mad. Joe gets irritated, pretends it's better, and then eventually we get really drunk.
It can't possibly be worse. But I also don't see how Min's going to be in the episode. That's all I've been waiting for.
All I wrote was Waze and then Feldara. That's all I got. Or
No,
also,
like
no Matt until season 2. That's also all I got.
Shenanigans for season 2.
No, Tom's right.
No, some of them are in season. No, Inktar. No, some of them are season 2. Some of them are season 1. Lord Algamar is season 1, for instance.
No, he was just cast.
Yeah, I think you're wrong.
What?
Yeah, Joe, he was just cast. Inktar, Algamar, and Dick 4. I forget.
This is way more important prediction. Perrin marries Narg, just another minor TV adaptation.
Well, I mean, he shouldn't. Narg is a Narg.
Yeah.
All right, guys, seriously, that's tWoTcast for this week. We're fucking done. That's tWoTcast therapy for this week for book readers.
Ranting like lunatics. I'm really sorry.
But we needed it. I think now we get it all off our chests.
You know what? Honestly, like we're planning on doing a season 1 recap, kind of like in January. Maybe some of this will make more sense, and we'll be like, okay,
all right. If you got comments or questions, leave them below. If you're watching this, fucking subscribe to it, or at least hit a like button or something.
If you're watching this, also thank you for listening to us. Just slowly lose our fucking.
Watching this, not thank you. You're welcome. It's been very coherent.
Up the way, yeah,
a lot of great points. It's really smart.
Yeah.
It's absolutely been coherent.
Listen to the audio version wherever you get podcasts. Once Joe's about to do like a fucking 15 episode dump over the
just a real like I'm just gonna take a huge dump on our podcast.
Now that his wife's no longer pregnant, he's about to get his first dump on her.
Theme songs brought to you by Taffy Bennington and Andrew, the Bard of Time. I feel like everybody knows. Everybody watching this probably knows who they are. If they don't, I don't know. Figure it out. It'd be that hard. I think we have links to their music down below the video.
Down in the description. Go ahead.
Down below. You'll find it down below. Wait. Which one's? All right. Wait. Swan Moraine. All right. Got it. Join us next episode for more Wheel of Time covering. That's what it says in the script. The script
more Wheel of Time covering.
Episode 7 of the Wheel of Time TV show on Amazon Prime. With me has been Joe.
That's true. That's true. Keep the change, you filthy animals.
Jono. I'm Tom, still your man.
Uh-huh.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast.